Imagine standing in a busy street, and suddenly everything freezes. Cars stop mid-motion. Birds hang motionless in the air. The wind goes silent. And for what feels like forever, you're the only thing still moving. It sounds like a scene from The Matrix, but this isn't fiction. This is real. The most chilling case happened in a remote village in India, where witnesses claimed that for 5 whole minutes, time itself stood still. We'll come back to that unbelievable story at the very end. Because first, you need to understand, this phenomenon isn't as rare as you think. Welcome to Singularity Animations, where we explore the strangest mysteries of science, history, and the unknown. Time is supposed to be constant. We live by the ticking of the clock, seconds, minutes, hours. But throughout history, people have reported moments when time didn't behave as expected. Psychologists call some of these experiences time distortions, moments when your brain speeds up or slows down your perception. But there are cases that defy simple explanation, where multiple people experience the same time slip at once. Let's explore some of the strangest times when the clock just stopped. Our first story takes us to Suffolk, England, 1977. It was an ordinary afternoon when residents noticed something strange. The usual noises of life vanished. Birds stopped singing, wind stopped blowing, and the village clock, a mechanical one that had been reliable for decades, froze at exactly 3:44 p.m. For nearly 2 minutes, silence reigned. Several people reported that their wristwatches also stopped, only to start ticking again after the moment passed. There was no power failure, no magnetic disturbance, no seismic activity. And yet, it was as if the entire town had been paused, like someone pressed a cosmic remote control. Another chilling case happened in the Ural Mountains, Russia, in 1989. A passenger train suddenly slowed to a halt in the middle of nowhere. The driver claimed all the gauges froze. Passengers later reported that everything outside the train, birds, trees, even snow falling, appeared completely still. It lasted less than a minute, but some passengers claimed it felt like hours had passed before the train lurched forward again. When they arrived at the next station, they discovered they were exactly on schedule, as if no time had passed at all. In 1995, a bizarre event occurred in a small marketplace in Brazil. Dozens of shoppers claimed that the scene around them went silent and motionless for several minutes. One witness said she could move but couldn't hear her own footsteps. Another reported that a vendor was holding a tomato in midair, perfectly still, as if frozen in time. After what felt like an eternity, noise returned in a sudden rush. The tomato fell. People resumed their conversations, and everyone looked around in shock. Local authorities dismissed it as mass hysteria, but the witnesses remained convinced that they had lived through something impossible. So what could possibly explain these events? Science has some ideas. Mass psychogenic events, where large groups experience the same hallucination due to stress. Geomagnetic disturbances, which could temporarily affect brain waves and perception. Or even microsleeps, where a whole group of people experiences a lapse in consciousness at the same time. Though that doesn't explain why clocks would stop or why objects would appear frozen midair. And then, there are the theories science won't touch. Some believe we are living in a simulation, and what these people experienced was a pause for system maintenance. Others say these are time slips, moments when we accidentally slide into another dimension or a parallel timeline. And a few UFO researchers have a different explanation, claiming extraterrestrial activity might freeze an area to avoid being seen. None of these theories explain every case, especially the one we're about to discuss. Let's return to the case I mentioned at the beginning, the one that still baffles researchers. In 2011, in the remote village of Pali, India, an entire wedding ceremony came to a halt when time reportedly stopped for 5 minutes. Guests said that the music froze mid-beat. Flames and the ceremonial fire became completely still, and no one could move except a handful of witnesses, who later described the scene as stepping outside reality. When everything resumed, the wedding clock and every phone in the area showed the exact same time as before. No time had passed. Here's the most chilling detail. Several guests fainted when the moment ended, claiming they saw a bright flash in the sky just before time started moving again. No meteor was reported that night. No lightning. No aircraft. So what happened in Pali that night? A local legend says the gods blessed the couple by holding back time, so their union would last forever. Skeptics say it was mass hallucination, but can dozens of people hallucinate stopped clocks and frozen flames all at once? And if time really did stop, who or what had the power to press pause on reality? Could it happen again? Could it happen to us? Tell me what you think in the comments. Was it science, superstition, or proof that time isn't as unbreakable as we think? And if you want more stories where reality bends and time shatters, make sure to subscribe. We've barely scratched the surface of this mystery.